everyone, and welcome back to the channel. This is the Match Report with me, Mari, and Miles Weber.
Hi.
Yee, you're in a hotel room today.
Oh yeah, fancy pants hotel room, right?
You're working. Where are you working at?
San Diego. I'm down here in Southern California doing some outdoor shows. So yeah. Last night was good. Did one at a winery. Lots of happy people. So yeah, it was good.
Nice. The comics life, huh? Always on the road.
Always, right? We'll see. I mean, post-pandemic, we'll see how that is, you know?
I'm gonna miss having a full year of excuses. Not going out, not having to go to birthday parties I don't want to go to, just generally not having my shit together for a whole year because of quarantine. You know, I'm not gonna have those excuses anymore. None of us will.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, using COVID as an excuse, yeah, it's pretty clutch.
All right, well, we've got some news for you this week. You know, it's a heavy one. It's a heavy week, so we're keeping it light on the heavy news, and we got some really good news. So let's kick it off. It wouldn't be right if we did not follow up on the news that we have been talking about for weeks, as well as last week quite heavily. So let's kick it off. Former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin was found guilty in all 3 counts for the murder of George Floyd. The case started looking bad for Chauvin upon realizing the jury had functioning eyes and ears.
Yeah, I think it only took him like 10 hours to come up with the verdict. And I saw somebody online go, what do you think they did with the other 9 hours and 59 minutes?
I mean, I think that this was echoed throughout Twitter and, you know, whatever social media platforms and even just social groups that we all are in. But it's the fact that there was an actual question of whether justice would reign here. That's a huge problem. The fact that it could have gone the other way, and it felt like a close, close one. You know, it shouldn't have been.
Yeah, we all shouldn't have been as on the edge of our seats as we were. Like, I didn't watch like too much of the case really like live or anything. All I ever saw was like if they were doing Daily Show clips about it, they would show this and that and the other. But we did turn it on for the verdict when they read the verdict to see it. And then even then it was like as soon as they were like guilty, I was like, all right, done. Like, let's turn it off. Like, just hasn't been something that I've been like watching for there. But yeah, it's everybody I've talked to, like most of my black friends and everything, they're just like, yeah, nah, we had anxiety watching the whole time. Like, are they gonna do the right thing? Because I mean, historically, when was the last time they ever did? I mean, you had like the Rodney King beatdowns in the early 90s, and then they got let off on that. We still haven't gotten justice for Breonna Taylor, and she was asleep last year when she got killed, so in her home. So it's like, it's a societal problem. It's a problem with the system that we were even on the edge of our seat. This was a layup. This should have been a shutout. It should have been 100-0 home team. Like, duh, we all watched it. So yeah, I think there's a lot of problems with the system and a lot of problems with side effects of the system and what it's done to people. So yeah, he was still trying to get any count knocked off, and it's like, homie, no, what you did was monstrous, and that's not okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think for him, you know, from his side and his lawyer's side, he's like, well, statistically, this has not ever happened where a white cop has been prosecuted within, I think, Minneapolis, prosecuted against a black defendant. And I have to say, like, even as a person of color, it's like, I think most of us have had our eyes open to racism, but I don't think to this level where we're seeing it so front and center, where I think the black community has been like, no, it's been like this forever. You know, it's been this way. We have been talking about it. We've been shouting it to deaf ears, and I feel like it's a lot of like calling bull myself as well. And so much of my eyes and ears have been opened since the Black Lives Matter movement, and that was just since last year, and that sucks.
Yeah.
If this is not the tipping point, when we have all these tools that we have, every single tool that amplifies voices, if it's not now, then when?
Well,
Honestly.
because it's going to get harder, and it's going to get harder to a point where The opposing side is already starting to do abhorrently evil things to try and silence this movement that's coming and the uprising that's coming from the people. 34 Republican senators in 34 different states have already filed bills to where they're trying to get it passed into law to make it illegal to protest in those states. And that is like the American right. That's our thing, is if you are legitimately trying to take away your citizens' right to protest, you are now living in a monarchy that people are looting and rioting, man. This is a symptom of a system that has failed people only. Like, it is exclusively almost only failed people. Don't do that. We're not advocating that, but I'm just saying this is something that happens.
It's not the way.
It's not the way, but this is just a symptom of the system failing the people.
Next to some nice news.
Yeah. This is a little nicer. This was exciting. Engineers have created the whitest paint ever to coat buildings with in an attempt to cool down the planet. What makes the paint so white is a high concentration of barium sulfate and being really good at frisbee golf.
I didn't know that frisbee golf was a real thing until I went to a Las Vegas park. It's the first time I've seen it.
That was the first time you saw frisbee golf? Yeah. My people really fancy the frisbee golf, because golf, super white, frisbee, somehow even whiter. But if we combine the two, I think we have a game that nobody's going to want to play with us. And we were right.
Back to the paint, though. That's very, very cool.
So it comes from the science that the color white reflects off the sun. And so that causes, there's something in that causes a cooling. So, because I saw years ago that we could cool the planet down if we were just trying to do something with like lighter roads and like things just being more white, like that color has a cooling effect. And so these scientists made this paint that is, it's whiter than the whitest paint on the planet. And it is by design, they're trying to figure out how to coat buildings in this super white paint, and that will over time cause a cooling effect and it will lower the temperature of the planet.
Man, for some reason I'm seeing it as like a super futuristic looking society now, where everything is like a white building with like dark roads. I don't know, it seems science fiction to me. It seems this seems like such a simple thing to implement, but there will be so many folks lobbying against it, and it's just, I don't know.
It's my right to have a black house if I want to. Black houses matter.
Oh God.
Oh, just wait. I'm telling you.
The hypocrisy.
I know the hypocrisy. And that's a thing it's funny. If any statistic on like society changing with scientists, when you can keep talking to them and they all get to the point where they're like, oh, well, I mean, we're overpopulated. So like, that's our biggest problem, is that there's just too many of us. But nobody wants to have that conversation.
All right. Next piece of news here.
Yes.
France is giving citizens who are willing to trade their car in for an electric bike $3,000 to go towards said bike, which is a much better value and deal than when that guy tried to offer me a bike to get in his van.
Yeah. Yeah, he said he had a couple bikes in there. I'm like, that's not that big of a van. I don't know that I trust you.
Yeah. Also, I'm just not too interested in bikes because I can't ride them.
That's right. You can't ride bikes. That's right. I completely forgot.
I'll give you a bike. I said, none of these. This is a lose for both of us.
Maybe if it was a tricycle. If you had like a tricycle, would you jump on a trike?
Yo, if it was an electric trike, I'd be in that van in a second.
An electric trike. I like that it has to still be electric.
Yeah, give me an electric trike,
I'm not pedaling nothing.
No.
No, it's fine. No, it's okay. I think you want a motorcycle with a sidecar is what you want. I think that sounds like that's
I want to be an Indy's dad. I want to be Indy's dad.
I imagine you driving like a motorcycle with Peter in a sidecar. That makes me so happy.
We're sitting, we're in the same height.
Oh, his knees are the same height as your head because they're just so high up in the sidecar. Like, yeah. Oh, that sounds wonderful. But like you said, in France, yeah, they're trying to reduce the amount of cars on the road by paying people to have electric bikes.
That's really, really cool.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
very cool.
I know. So I'm for it. Go figure. The French are the ones doing this.
You know, with Earth Day being this past week,
Yeah,
it's just, you know, it goes back to the conversation of there's just so many of us on this earth.
it's a lot.
And sometimes it feels overwhelming whether or not we're making a difference or not. And like, I think that everybody needs to continuously remember that we do. Little differences day by day, small adjustments do make a difference. You might not see it in this like grandiose way. And I think that like social media makes it sort of like warped in our mind of like how much effort we put in and how much change we should be seeing. Like, it's not going to be this, you know, we wake up tomorrow and it's like, oh, it's gone. The ozone layer is it's all good now. You know, like, it's not gonna happen that way.
I blame Amazon Prime's two-day shipping.
Right. It has forever made us too expectant of
Not only do we want it now, I want it now at my doorstep. Like,
Yeah.
if I have to put on pants to get this, probably not going to do it. And that's a bad place for us to be collectively, given the amount of work we have to do to save the planet. Like
that and quick internet, right? Like the amount of time we used to have to wait to even get online.
Let's go to the next one. Scientists have found a compound in most fruits and vegetables that is said to protect your heart when stressed. So if you're experiencing heartbreak, taking an eggplant to the face might help.
I'm broken. All I see are emojis. I see broken heart emoji and eggplant emoji.
Oh yeah, that whole joke just could have been a series of emojis that we just put together. Like, you think that's going to be like our future ancient hieroglyphs? Is like emojis?
Peter still thinks that the poop emoji is a smiling froyo. And I'm like, you gotta stop using it. Like, wanna go get, and I'm like, no, that means you wanna go get poop. I don't like, do I wanna come to the toilet with you? We have mixed messages here. He's like, no, you wanna go get froyo. And it's like,
yeah, no, you can't just default to, like, I understand because I think it's froyo in my head too. I see the smiling poop emoji and I'm like, yeah, man, that's not poop. That's totally froyo. But I never put that on another person. Like, I never am just like, yeah, you want to go get some? And then that's it. And people are like, no, I don't want to go get with you. What are you doing? So yeah, fruits and vegetables, go figure. They're good for you.
Yeah, go figure.
That's really all that was the most passive aggressive news story I have found this year. That's just like, it turns out it can reduce your stress of your heart, which is really them just being like, eat more fruits and vegetables, you idiot. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. They're like, we got the science right the first time, guys. We weren't lying then, we're not lying now. But you know, we're in a place where everyone is questioning science right now, so it's a wild world, y'all. Alrighty, let's see. A man who returned a lost $10,000 to its rightful owner received a reward of 1 jar of homemade applesauce. It'll protect your heart, which is still a better gift than the Dalai Lama giving Bill Murray total consciousness for caddying for him.
It's a Caddyshack joke for maybe the 6 people watching who sing Caddyshack.
Are we old? We're talking about Caddyshack. We're talking about modem internet.
We're old. Yeah, we're those people now. Our internet back in the day, we had to wait for it to load, and then we had to walk uphill in the snow both ways.
Get off my digital lawn.
Right? Get off my digital lawn. Yeah, we are all digital Clint Eastwood now.
Oh.
Yeah, so yeah, Caddyshack, because he.
Okay, so somebody finds $10,000, gives it back to a person, and that person returns the favor by giving them homemade applesauce?
So the person left their wallet on like I think the top of their car or something before they drove away from the bank. And so a guy grabbed the wallet and there was like 10 G's in it.
Dang.
And so he's like, all right, well, I'm going to return this because I would hate if I lost 10 grand like this, I would hate that. And so he gave it to the person, and this person was using it to like for their business, and their business was really struggling. So like they didn't have this. They said that this losing this 10 grand would have crippled us. Losing this 10 grand would have absolutely crippled us and just kneecapped us. And so the fact that the person gave it back to them so they could pay for their business and everything was outstanding. And they make like homemade applesauce and jams and like all this homemade stuff, sweets and things like that. And so they were like, right now, here, take this, but we're gonna hook you up with more stuff. So they're gonna be hooking him up with all kinds of like food and stuff like that for a while now.
Amazing.
But yeah, the initial trade was 10K applesauce.
Oh, I love that. And a friend for life.
Right, a friend for life. See, so yeah, man, put the good out there. Like that's a situation like we're kind of talking about this whole thing, right? Like, what can we do for everybody else to make the world a better place? There's a situation. Oh man, yeah, I could totally take this 10K, but if I was that other person, I would want somebody to return this to me.
Yeah.
And that's what he did. And yeah, man, you got a friend for life now who helped you out. You're helping their business. You know, you're getting some cool stuff too. So yeah, man.
I love that.
Like,
what wholesome news. Wholesome news.
Absolutely.
Man. And you just can't judge, you know, you can't judge a fatty wallet by the size of its girth.
You can't judge a fatty wallet by the size of its girth. I think I read that in a fortune cookie once. Let's do the last one, shall we?
Last one. Let's do this.
Last one, home stretch. Guy Fieri's Restaurant Employee Relief Fund has raised $25 million for struggling workers. The workers are now on the hunt for Flavortown, USA, which is where Fieri is said to have stashed the cash.
They need to make a town for Guy.
He needs his own Flavortown, USA.
Guy really needs his own town.
Yeah.
That's so cool. I think I didn't know how much like work Guy does. Like, and I just didn't really know much about him other than, you know, like, oh, he's the guy with the hair and Flavortown. But yeah, he does so much work, and that's really cool.
Guy Fieri does a lot of charity work, and he's got a lot of foundations and stuff like that that are doing good work for restaurant employees, food workers, food delivery drivers, and everything like that. So yeah, no, he does a lot of good work. He's a cool dude. I met him when I was in my early 20s when I was working at Six Flags up in Northern California, because I was like hosting the Looney Tunes show. So like I would be wrangling the Looney Tunes to go do stuff around the park, and we would do like a dance party every morning at the front of the park. And so I would go up there and host the dance party. We do a couple dances, take pictures, leave. And he was there with his family, and it was his son's birthday. And so the managers of Six Flags were like, hey, could you bring the kid up, and then he'll do the dance with you. And I was like, perfect. Yeah. So I taught the kids the dance and everything. He did it. And then afterwards I got to talk to the guy, and he was very nice and super gracious and grateful that we got to do that for his son. Like, it didn't seem like he was like, yeah, of course you're going to do this. He was like, man, that was great. I can't thank you enough. This really means a lot to my kid. And so yeah, he was super humble, super nice, cracking jokes, just very bubbly guy, just very happy. So yeah, seems like a pretty decent dude all the way around, man.
That's awesome. I love that. I love that. Well, with a, you know, I guess we'll conclude there.
It's a happy place to drop off.
Yeah. Heavy things, and also wonderful things that brings that level of humanity back to, okay, we're doing it.
Yep. Exactly.
We need a little bit of both. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us this week on the Match Report. We'll see you next Thursday, same time.
Yes.
And if you guys want to see us on Twitch,
I'll actually be there next Thursday. Yeah, I don't have a show next Thursday night, so I will actually be there live with you.
We'll see you on Twitch on Thursdays, and we'll see you here on YouTube on Saturdays. Bye, everyone.
Doodles.